Hi, I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. In a recent column, I listed some common sources of sudden wealth, including inheritance and life insurance. Several of my clients have inherited substantial sums or received large life insurance payments upon the death of a spouse. A common reaction among these folks is one of guilt. There's a sense that it's not right to profit by the death of a loved one or enjoy living securely as a result. As one of my newly widowed clients put it, it feels as if taking the money is saying that it was okay he died. Well-meaning friends and advisors may remind widows or widowers that the life insurance is there to provide for them, and their spouses would want them to be taken care of. Well, that's probably perfectly true, but it doesn't do much to relieve the feelings of guilt and grief that surround that. Such painful emotions may lead people to spend inheritances recklessly. The unconscious motivation is a need to get rid of the money in order to get rid of the difficult feeling or the pain. This is one reason advisors like Susan Bradley tell inheritors that the first thing they should do is nothing. Now, there's also another strategy that can help put inheritances and life insurance receipts into perspective. This is first to emphasize that the purpose of life insurance is to replace income. An insurance payment may seem like a huge sum, yet it's likely to be relatively small compared to what the deceased spouse may have earned over even a 5-year period or the amount of income that it will generate. The same can be true of an inheritance. Let's take an example. Suppose Marion was widowed at age 50 when her husband, also 50, died suddenly of a heart attack. Her inheritance consisted of a business valued at $500,000, which she sold, a life insurance policy in the amount of $250,000, an unmortgaged home worth $150,000, and savings of $100,000. Now, suddenly, Marion has a net worth of $1 million. It was enough to secure her future as well as provide income to supplement her $30,000 a year salary. Now, from her perspective, she was rich because her husband had died. Appreciating or even using the money felt wrong to her. It was helpful for Marion to consider some numbers. At the time of her husband's death, he was receiving a salary of $150,000 a year. Now, over 5 years, that would have been a total salary of $750,000, or $1.5 million over 10 years. His business was thriving and increasing in value at about 15% a year. It would have been worth close to $1 million in another 5 years had he lived, and over $2 million after 10 years. The couple lived modestly. They planned to invest at least $50,000 a year toward retirement. Now, this amount, added to their existing savings of $100,000, would have totaled perhaps $400,000 over 5 years and maybe just under $800,000 after 10 years. After 10 years, Marion and her husband could reasonably have expected to have a net worth of at least $3 million. Now, instead, her inheritance of $1 million represented everything she would ever receive monetarily from her husband. Invested, it gave her an income of about $159,000 over 5 years versus the $750,000 that she was receiving when her husband was alive, and that didn't even count her income. And $344,000 over 10 years. That's about 1/5 of what her husband's earnings would have been. In addition, taking out the income meant she maintained her net worth, but didn't substantially increase it. If she's fortunate, it might increase by inflation. So in reality, the death of Marion's husband left her poor, not richer. The inheritance seemed like such wealth only because she received it in a lump sum instead of over a period of years. Seeing this comparison helped Marion change her perspective so she could accept and use her inheritance with more peace of mind. Thanks for joining me.